Today, it's all about what to do when you feel uncertain so you can come back to your knowingness. So let's anchor that knowingness in and get started.
Welcome to the I'm Perfectly Divine podcast, a place for the strong, sensitive, spiritual seeker to recognize the perfection of your human journey worlds through proven and grounded frameworks that support you to live in the wholeness you already are. For over the past 2 decades, I have supported people from all around the world, as well as Fortune 500 companies, to dissolve the divisions within them and live with greater empowerment and love. This podcast is an exploration of the paradoxes that befuddle us as we live our lives being both human and divine. Together, you and I, along with other experts, will navigate integrating psychology and spirituality, the divine feminine and the divine masculine, the darkness and the light, to create greater sacred union from within. I believe through your remembering that you are innately divine, that you will allow yourself to more openly shine. So let's get to it, because your unique light is needed more than ever.
Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to I'm Perfectly Divine podcast. We're talking about what to do when you get so triggered that you feel anxious, worried, and mostly uncertain. There's just this sense of uncertainty that is clouding your judgment, and it's clouding how you are showing up. And so first, it's important to understand that this is happening. You're feeling this sense of uncertainty because you're in a story that is telling you that you are unsafe. And so we want to break down how to come back to your inner knowingness so you stop spinning, because that spinning is taking you away from your power. And so the spinning mind is an indicator that you're not embodied. And so I always like to approach how to address your empowerment from the 4 pillars of psychology that I talk about: mind, body, spirit, and emotion. And we want to start with the body, especially whenever you feel unsafe. And one of the easiest ways we can do this is to come back into the moment. And that's why I'm right here with some options for you on how to do that. So you can see that if we take a moment to just look at the nature of a flower and focus in on how it continues to evolve in these unfolding of these layers, that is such a great representation of our own inner journey. You know, so often we are saying, haven't I already addressed this? How can I be dealing with this again? How can I be triggered about this again? Why am I feeling so uncertain, so unsafe? And I love a meditation with a flower, especially a rose, that gives us a symbolism for all the different layers to what we are learning to release. And if you've ever seen a rose after it starts to dry up, it looks like the outer petals are dying off. But when you go towards more and more towards the middle, there is still an aliveness to that flower. And it's just understanding that we want to take off those dying layers that no longer serve us and really be able to anchor into the core of who we are. And so I think flowers are a beautiful way to do this. I also have with me a crystal and this candle, because these are great ways to just really meditate and slow your brain down. These are the things that we can just allow ourselves to put our attention on and allow ourselves to gaze at the candle being lit or at the crystal and really take in the flame, the steadiness of the flame, the beauty of the crystal. It's really about bringing yourself, again, back to the present moment and out of the story that's telling you that you are unsafe. And when you can be present with a lit candle or with a crystal or with a flower, it's going to bring you back to your values about what really matters in your life. And it's not to say that what has triggered up your sense of uncertainty doesn't matter. Of course it does. That's why you're triggered. But it can come back to this place of, in the present moment, you actually are okay. Like, you are here and you are safe. Now, another thing that is really important to help us embody a sense of safety is slowing down our breath. So everything in the beginning, when the mind is going bananas, is about slowing ourselves down to get back into the present moment and get back into our body. Because the monkey mind means you're not embodied. It means your ego has taken over. That is the whole point of the monkey mind, is to take you away from your power. So if you are like, yeah, looking at a flower is not going to do it for me, then start with the breath, because your breath is about learning to slow down. And there's no magic feature. I mean, there are some very powerful breathing techniques, but there's the most basic place is to try to make the breath slow down so that you can, again, be present with yourself. I personally like breathing in through your nose, pausing, and then exhaling out your mouth. There's just, to me, a good anchoring in to who we are. Now, I've also talked about before, grounding into the earth. These are all powerful ways. What that means is, well, let me show you. Let's do this together. Because really, grounding into the earth, we talk about this and people are like, I don't know what that means. Well, it's really about what it means for our bodies as we start to feel the earth energy. There's something naturally healing about our earth energy that just reminds us that we are taken care of. We are a part of the earth. I'm coming next to a tree because I love grounding my feet in by a tree and imagining roots growing into, intertwining with the roots of a tree. And one of my favorite things to do is to place both hands on the tree, or even put my forehead and my chest against the tree. But really, just putting the feet to the earth, let's see if we can get a, there I am, is what will allow us to slow down. Remember that you are a part of nature and you're a part of this earth, and the earth knows how to take care of itself, especially when we don't have humans interfering, right? When we don't have the ego interfering. And so it's a natural way of allowing ourselves to replenish ourselves. So remembering how to come back to the earth in a grounding way. Stay outside because it's so nice. And then we really want to come back to spirit. How is our spirit guiding us to our inner knowing? What I love about so many religious traditions or spiritual traditions is that there is this innate connection with nature. There's a knowingness how nature can support us. And so just with allowing our bodies to be in nature without technology is one of the most ways that we can get from being disembodied back to embodied. And then how does nature fuel your spirit? Because when uncertainty is taking over, that is the ego and its lies taking over. What our human selves will do is attach to that out of fear, and that is an exact opposition of spirit, which is guiding us out of love. This is the opportunity. When I reconnect with my spiritual selves, when I slow down to my inner wisdom and know that I'm okay in this moment, how is love guiding me? And then we get to the emotional piece. because what's really underneath this is that when we don't feel safe, we're not trusting, you are not trusting yourself, or you are not trusting in the universe, the divine, to care for you. And this is where the emotional work comes in. There is no skirting our way around this. I was just teaching in the Chakra Reboot. This is a free workshop that I do where I help people embody a mind, body, spirit, and emotion, all pillars of their psychology, and really help them understand where are you getting stuck, where is the growth not happening for you, so that you know where to focus in on, because we need all 4 pillars of our psychology working for us. And what most people mistakenly do is they think they've processed their emotions because they've cried it out or they've moved their body in some way and they're like, I'm good, or I've done the shadow work, the rose that I showed you. There's so many different layers to this. And if you are emotionally triggered, that is telling you that something isn't fully processed. Doesn't mean that you're wrong or broken. It means there's another piece to this that's wanting me to understand it so I can come back into alignment. And so this emotional piece is so significant because we cannot BS our way around our emotions. Like, our emotions know the truth of what we truly believe. And there's such an integral part to our belief system, because whatever you're experiencing emotionally, even if you try to put a positive mindset on it, what's happening within your body is that if you still feel unsafe, if you still feel uncertain, and that anxiety and that worry is running you, that is setting off a whole chain reaction of neurons within your brain's chemistry that is saying, I'm not safe. And we have to remember, what feels more safe to you? Someone telling you the truth, or someone trying to make you feel better? Think about that for a moment. What feels safer to you? Someone telling you the truth from a place of love and care and compassion, but really wanting to support you so that you feel empowered, versus I'm just going to tell you something that makes you feel better in the moment. We want to get to the point where we're able to receive what the guidance is for our long-term benefit. And so it's okay if you said, well, I just need the short-term relief. Sometimes we're in that place, but your emotions are always going to be guiding you towards the long-term place of you knowing your centeredness and truth of who you are, regardless of what is going on around you. And that is the beauty of having the skill set to foster your emotions being allies for you, so that you feel empowered no matter what. You remember your truth no matter what. And this is a skill set anyone can learn. This is what I teach, and you can find out more about how you can gain this skill set by going to michelleburcell.com. We can't BS our emotions. This is something that is, I think, crying out for us to understand, because this is why we're struggling with mental health problems. We're not emotionally vibrant. We're not emotionally healthy if we don't know how to utilize our emotions for our benefit. I'm going to move around because I got some bugs swarming me. So then this is when, once we have the mind, the spirit, and our emotions, we feel more at peace within ourselves. This is when we can start working with our mind from the higher mind. So we've gone from this place of, all right, I start off knowing that I'm in a story. And that's important to be able to recognize, right? And then we go through the process of getting more settled within our being. We utilize our body to anchor ourselves back in. We utilize our connection with spirit, and however that is, to remember that the universe is always working for us, that you are an expression of the divine working through you, and the universe wants for you to have all of life and more. And it's wanting you to remember that over the ego's lies. It's wanting you to remember love over the ego's lies. And then your emotions are that internal energy guiding you back to your knowingness, to your internal state of power. And your emotions will call you out when you've turned to short-term strategies too much, and you're ready to embody at the very core of your being your knowingness, so that you can be steady no matter what. This is the love of the divine wanting us to live from this place where we're always knowing the truth of who we are, again, regardless what's going on. And, I'm not saying that we don't have moments where we're experiencing negative feelings. I mean, my whole process that I teach is how our negative feelings are guiding us back to our truth. So the point is not to never have negative feelings. The point is that you're utilizing them as allies so that you can get back to your higher mind state. So this is the fourth component. We have studied ourselves enough so that it's not the lower mind and the ego stories that are running us, and we can use the higher mind. Now that we are more centered in our body and in our spirit and in our emotions, we can anchor into more of the higher mind that goes from the fear controlling it to you determining what you want out of this experience. Really recognizing your ability to stand in all that is possible for you. I've talked about this before. Sometimes people are like, I need this outcome. And if you need a certain outcome to feel better, that's an indicator that something is not processed emotionally, because it's not about the sense of needing something to feel better. It's the higher mind where you work with it to claim what is meant to be yours, what you are meant to step into. So yes, it is what is meant to be yours that is going to require a higher expression of you. So it's not just, I'm looking at this outcome that I want and wow, won't my life be great when I have it? It's, here's an outcome that I want, and I see how this outcome is guiding me to grow into even more of my truth, power, and love. And so this is what it really allows us to feel fully embodied, mind, body, spirit, and emotion, when we are working on these layers and embodying them in our truth, in alignment, where all four continue to work in this integrative way, and they keep interweaving with each other. They keep supporting one another to build you up so that you remember your true power. Because when you're in your power, you are this divine expression of love, whatever that is supposed to be in your unique expression. And so this is how we continue to allow this to come forward through us. You will have times, again, where you get triggered. You're in your story. Okay, great. And what are we going to do about it now? So this is the opportunity for us, and it's such a blessing. It's such a blessing to be at this point that we don't fall into the victimhood of these stories anymore. Or if we do, it's temporary. I mean, I don't want to say we don't ever. I mean, I still do. But it's just less and less, because when you have your higher mind working in alignment with your emotions, with your body, with spirit, you just know. And so you're just not getting pulled by the BS that your ego wants you to be wrapped in, and where you literally give your power away over to its story and its beliefs. That is something that we get to look at probably each and every day in our human journey. Which am I going to choose in this moment? Is it going to be fear, or is it going to be love? And the more we learn the skill set of how to embody love, the more steady you become. And the uncertainty Things will still be unknown. It just won't cause you as much fear. Allow yourself to know how powerful you are. And in any ways that you feel that you're like, oh my gosh, I don't embody this at all. Well, neither did I at one point. And I was probably one of the most unembodied people ever. I just was not in my body, mind focused and monkey mind focused. And it caused a lot of pain in my life. And this is why I know this is a skill set you can learn. And it's so important for you, especially if you're emotionally sensitive like I am, because our emotions naturally have this holistic domino effect in our lives where they're either triggering the release of hormones that are stress related and contraction, or expansiveness, knowingness, and love. And you can learn to tap into that. So again, I have free offerings all the time. Check out my website and continue to practice. It's a practice to embody these aspects of your psychology and learn the skills, and they will pay off in dividends beyond your imagination, because it's our personality that creates our reality. And I think that's something that Joe Dispenza says. And our personality is made from these 4 psychological pillars, and you can have them working for you. So remember, there is nothing broken. Know that there's nothing broken, nothing for you to even fix. This is a remembrance of your innate self, and we want you to come back to that remembering, and that's how you will continue to grow. So I hope these tools support you, and I hope having a deeper understanding of how your psychology really is supporting you in your remembrance journey will guide you the next time you feel uncertain to come back to yourself, to know that there is a way to anchor back in. And the more we allow ourselves this practice, the more we are going to feel love and peace within ourselves. So I hope this supports you, and I look forward to being in touch with you next time. Until then, please take care.
I am so honored you have joined me today. If you enjoyed the I'm Perfectly Divine podcast, subscribe so you don't miss any of our power-filled episodes. Also, if you know another who is strong, sensitive, and spiritual and wants to dive deeper into emotions and ancient wisdom so they too can create profound peace and fulfillment from within, please share this podcast. Thank you again for joining me, and I look forward to reconnecting with you soon.